Welcome back. Buying a home can be daunting at any age, but especially for first time buyers, and even more so for young home buyers. If you need some helpful tips, we've got you covered this morning on Great Day. Here on the show to tell us more is a friend and Great Day regular. Please welcome back Brittany Picolo-Ramos of Godwyn&Stone Real Estate rather. Hey girl. You got me distracted with this good looking hat. You look great. And thank you so much for coming on to talk about this because I'm in my 20s and it's so confusing sometimes when you're trying to buy a home. Are there any benefits to buying a home in your 20s? If so, what are they?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things. For one, I know that people in their 20s like to customize, so it's your house. You can do what you want. You are your own boss. Secondly, you have consistent payments, so that's pretty. It stays the same, which is nice. So your person, especially if you get a fixed mortgage, so you definitely don't want to do a balloon payment. But you have a set mortgage, and you're building equity. That's huge too. So when you go to sell it, you'll actually have like a little bank account, especially if you have a good realtor, because you want to make sure that your realtor advises you right. It strengthens your credit, and you have the tax benefits. So tons and tons of huge pluses for buying a house.
Come on, great credit, 800 credit score. Where are you at? I am looking for you. That's a great tip
So,
right there. But for people in their 20s who are looking to buy a home, what things should they consider before buying that home?
well, what is your career? Is it something consistent? Is it something that's going to allow you to have the house that you want to have? Your income, that it's consistent, that it's going to be able to provide for you, your future, where you're going to live, things like that. Interest rates are huge. So if you have a really good interest rate, like right now, you want to lock that interest rate in. Right now, they're saying money is cheap. So you want to take advantage of that. And also your local market. So let's say rents are rising, you want to make sure if you buy a house, you are locking in something that someone can't just say, hey, we're going to raise the price now. So I think there's a lot of things to consider that are positive for home buyers, especially in this market.
So true. And I'm curious, obviously you're currently a real estate agent. Are you seeing more people in their 20s buying homes?
We're seeing a huge influx, and thankfully to shows like on networks like HGTV, which I have a show on called Selling the Big Easy. I don't know if you know that or not, but shows like that are letting people know how available home ownership is. People used to think, oh, well, my parents did that. I wish I would have bought a house way sooner than I did because we have built a lot of wealth by buying and selling houses. So we'll buy a really ugly house and then we'll put some money into it and then make 20, 30 grand in a couple of years. And you can't do that all the time. You just got to make sure you have some good advice from a great real estate agent.
I love that. Big tip that I always say in order to make money, you got to spend money. And especially if you're trying to buy a first time home, you might have to spend a little bit of money, but the payoff is something much better. But we're talking about, people buying their homes in their 20s. Is there an age that's too young to buy a home?
Well, legally, you have to be 18 years old, especially to get a loan. So most people, unless you're like balling out cash wise, like I don't know your life, but generally speaking, most people need to be 18 because they're going to have to get a loan. So that's usually a good, time to start considering that. But I mean, hey, if you can get a really good deal, and you can learn about real estate when you're younger and your teens, I mean, you can jump right into that real estate market at 18, learn from someone that really understands that, and start building wealth early. I would have.
Right, you're giving me great tips this morning. Do you find that there's a common mistake that first time home buyers, home buyers make, especially when they're first buying?
Well, I feel like a lot of home buyers buy out of emotion, which is why it's so good to have a real estate agent. And also, they don't really know what they're going into. When I first bought a house, I actually bought it from a family member because I didn't know any better. So I actually lost money on that deal. And I remember that was one of the big reasons why I got into real estate because I never wanted anyone to go through what I went through. But also, you want to make sure you have money in the bank. You want to make sure that you have at least 3 months of payments and some lump cash that if something breaks, you'll be covered.
So true. And I've been doing a lot of research on buying homes, and I'm like, oh my God, so confusing. A lender. I just learned what a lender was because of our segments on this show. If we're looking for a lender, is there one you recommend by chance?
I love Hung Lee with Movement Mortgage. I've used him for many years, and there's a lot of really great lenders, but I like Hung Lee. He's consistent, he's honest, and no one's perfect. I don't ever like to say this person's like perfection, but he's pretty close, So I love Hung Lee with Movement Mortgage.
And a lender is the one that what? Loans you the money?
That's the one that's going to loan you the money and also explain how much your payment's going to be, go through the process with you, see what you're going to get approved for. And there are good banks and lenders out there. So you do want to get a couple of recommendations, especially since it's your first time buying a house. But we have been through the process multiple times. So we are able to say this person, we've seen great results from this person.
Some great tips this morning for young home buyers and first time home buyers. Brittany Picolo-Ramos, everyone. To contact Godwyn and Stone Real Estate, you can log on to her website, brittanypicoloramos.com, or give her a call at 504 500 sold. They are located at 1912 Clearview Parkway in Metairie. And don't forget to follow them on social media at Godwyn Stone. And if you're looking for a lender, you can contact Hung Lee at Movement Mortgage. His website is yournolalender.com, or give him a call at 504 210 6697.